create that special gift for you. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds at Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road in Chattanooga.
Cougar Radio 92.7.
It's the moment you've been waiting for. Sam Jordan's Cougar Radio 92.7 Sports now.
Good evening and welcome to the Locker Room Show with Sam Jordan here on Cougar Radio 92.7 FM. Glad to have you along. Hope you had a great weekend wherever you were at or whatever you were doing, and hopefully the weather was okay for you throughout the weekend as well. Big weekend coming up here this upcoming week to kick off the 2018 high school football season schedule. Thursday night, we'll kick things off with the Erlanger Classic going on over at Finley Stadium. We'll have the Baylor and Notre Dame game that'll be going on immediately following Chattanooga Central and Walker Valley that will get underway at 6. So we're expecting airtime around 7:30 or so with high school football going on from Finley Stadium, from the beautiful confines there. And also then on Friday night, it'll be Soddy Daisy and Red Bank in action. And that will be a good kickoff. Soddy Daisy and Red Bank. Soddy Daisy, by the way, had a mixed bag, I guess, as far as with their jamboree scrimmages that they had going on over the weekend. And Red Bank was pretty much in the same boat. And hopefully they'll be able to get their seasons figured out before too long. Red Bank and Soddy will be kicking off Friday night football here on Cougar Radio. But as we said, Thursday night, we'll have Baylor and Notre Dame. And Notre Dame really looked good on Friday night in the jamboree that was going on, the first of 2 nights of football action over at the Camp Finley, and really impressed a lot of people. So it should be an interesting contest. Notre Dame made it far into the state playoffs last year, hoping to have another good run as well. 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call. 423-800-8949. Phone number to call to be a part of the show, or you can go on our Facebook page at Cougar Radio 92.7 FM with the Locker Room Show, and you can definitely put your questions or comments in on there. Call in and let's talk some sports. Some of the big games going on this week we want to talk about, of course, are the first 2 that we've mentioned here. But also there's some other good games going on. Brainerd at Howard, Lookout Valley at Grace Academy. Lookout Valley was so-so in their jamboree scrimmage. Marion County, who's always had a storied history, will be taking on Hickson at Hickson. McCauley will be at Chattanooga Christian. Ray County at Cleveland. Signal Mountain at East Hamilton. South Pittsburgh at Sequatchie County. Stone Memorial at East Ridge. Tyner Academy at Ottawa. Dade County at Gordon Lee. Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe will be at Heritage. That'll be a decent game. And Ringgold and Dalton. So a couple regional rivalry games down in Georgia kicking off the slate right away. And, of course, you can hear all the action with your high school football right here on Cougar Radio 92.7 FM. And then on Friday nights, we'll have the countdown to kickoff. That'll be 30 minutes prior to the start of the kickoff, and we'll get you all informed with all the 411. And then throughout the game, we'll have scoreboard updates as well throughout the evening. And then you can join us for the 5th quarter show. That'll give you all the scores and highlights of the various games going on all throughout the region. A lot of games on tap right away. And we'll be targeting 10 different divisions, I guess you could say. Class 1A, Region 3 with Copper Basin, Lookout Valley, Sale Creek, South Pittsburgh, and Woodwell. Class 2A Region 3 with Bledsoe County, Marion County, Polk County, Tellico Plains, and Tyner Academy. Class 4A Region 2, Anderson County, Chattanooga Central, East Hamilton, East Ridge, Hickson, Howard Tech, and Sequoia. Class 5A Region 4, we'll have Walker Valley, Soddy Daisy, Ray County, Lenoir City, Knoxville Catholic. And then Class 3A Region 3, Brainerd, Loudon, McMinn Central, Red Bank, Signal Mountain, Sweetwater. Class 3A Region 4, Cannon County, Grundy County, Sequatchie County, Smith County, Opperman, and York Institute will be those teams in that division. Class 6A Region 2 have William Blount, Bradley Central, Cleveland, Heritage, Maryville, McMinn County, and Ottawa. Then Division 2, Class A, will have Concord Christian, Donaldson Christian Academy, Ezell Harding Christian, Friendship Christian, Grace Baptist Academy, right here in Chattanooga, Kings Academy, Middle Tennessee Christian, Mount Juliet Christian Academy. Then Division 2, Class AA, Boyd Buchanan, Chattanooga Christian, Christian Academy of Knoxville, otherwise known as CAK, Grace Christian Academy, Notre Dame, Silverdale Academy, and Webb Knoxville. And Division 2, Class AAA, Baylor, Brentwood Academy, Ensworth, Father Ryan, McCauley, Montgomery Bell Academy, or MBA, and then Pope John Paul II. So we'll be targeting in our reports and announcements of those particular schools and those particular divisions or conferences or regions. So we'll have it all broke down for you on Friday night with the fifth quarter show. What's kind of interesting to catch some of the action over at Findlay over the weekend. There was also a jamboree of sorts that was going on over at Dunlap. And with that, seeing the various schools on the other side of the mountain, South Pittsburgh and various other schools over there, Dunlap, Sequatchie County, Woodwell, all those various teams over there, and letting the fans get a taste of what football could look like over there. And South Pittsburgh, as you know, has always made it a habit to making it to state playoffs and everything up at Cookeville. So it will be interesting to see how those teams fare, and that's why we want to keep an eye and an ear out on the various schools over in that part of the region here in the Tennessee Valley. NASCAR and Kevin Harvick getting his 7th victory of the season with his victory with the race going on at the Pure Michigan 400 up in Michigan. And with that, Happy Harvick getting that 7th one. So let's check in with Susie Armstrong, get you updated with the latest from the world of racing. Ned Jarrett here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Ford unveiled their new 2019 Mustang for the Cup Series over the weekend. Hear from Jack Roush next.
One of the oldest continuous brands in the...
I'm Susie Armstrong, and this is the world of racing.
Welcome back to Sports View. Today's topic, who's the greatest of all time? For my money, it's Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle. It literally saves you money. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Look, it's simple.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Add up all the heroes, take away the zeros, and what you got? One big trophy of me saying, I told you so.
I disagree.
Thanks, fellas. Took the words right out of my mouth.
There's really no debate. Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle is a winning combination. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
You're smart. Got your own trucking business, making it happen. What if I told you there was a place online where you could connect with other smart owner-operators just like you? It's an online community called Team Run Smart, where people share advice on truck maintenance, fuel savings, healthy habits on the road, and so much more. All to make your business more profitable. And it's all free. Visit teamrunsmart.com today to check it out. You'll be glad you did. Teamrunsmart.com, brought to you by Freightliner Trucks.
Last Thursday, Ford unveiled their new 2019 Mustang. set to debut at Daytona Speed Weeks in February. Roush Fenway Racing has been a Ford Motor Company stable since the team's inception in 1988. For co-owner and avid Mustang collector Jack Roush, the introduction of the iconic sports car into NASCAR's top division is very special.
Well, it's a big deal for Mustang because it's been, I think, one of the oldest continuous brands in the American manufacturer history. In my case, I got out of college in '64, and within 30 days of the time that the Mustang was put on the market in April '64, I had one ordered.
I'm Susie Armstrong, and this is The World of Racing on the Motor Racing Network.
Thank you very much, Susie, and we'll check in with Woody Kane and NASCAR today here in a little bit. But don't forget, Pure Michigan 400 won by Kevin Harvick yesterday. And this Saturday night, Bristol will be the hot spot with the Bass Pro Shops NRA night race. We'll get underway Saturday night at 6:30 through the facilities of the Performance Racing Network. And, of course, your NASCAR racing station, Nooga Radio 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4 here in Chattanooga. All right, now let's go back a little bit to what we were talking about earlier with the high school football jamboree. Let's go over how some of the teams fared with Friday and Saturday's action. We'll start with Friday's action. Chattanooga Christian defeated Sale Creek in the first game by a score of 14-0. However, they fell to Hickson by a touchdown, score of 6-0. And so Chattanooga Christian finished out 1-1 on the campaign there on Friday night. Hickson ended up having a good night. They defeated Tyner in their second game. Actually, no, it was 1-0-1 because they ended up tying Tyner by a score of 0-0. All right. And then Sale Creek came back after their initial loss to Chattanooga Christian and defeated Eastridge 7-0. Eastridge came back after the Hickson-Tyner game and tied Tyner by a score of 7-7. Notre Dame had their hands with Walker Valley, blanking them 21-0. Notre Dame ended up going 2-0 on the night after defeating Bradley Central by a score of 14-12. And that was kind of an explosive game because you got to remember these scrimmages at the Jamborees are only 20-minute scrimmages. So for you to score 26 points or even 21 points, it's doing pretty good. McCauley blanked Walker Valley by a score of 21-0. So Walker Valley ended up getting blanked on Friday night by two teams. McCauley ended up defeating Bradley 15-0 and therefore making McCauley a 2-0 on Friday night. From the Sequatchie Valley Jamboree that went on over in Dunlap on Friday night, it was South Pittsburgh edging out Grundy County 7-0. Whitwell blanked Sequatchie County 14-0. Bledsoe County over Lookout Valley by a score of 7-0. Marion County blanked Silverdale 7-0. South Pittsburgh getting their second victory of the evening, defeated Bledsoe County in their second game by a score of 7-0. Whitwell shut out Silverdale 9-0. Whitwell ended up going 2-0 on the night. Silverdale 0-2. Marion County edging out Lookout Valley by a score of 12-0. So Marion County going 2-0 and Lookout Valley going to 0-2 on the Jamboree night going on over in Dunlap Friday night. Now, Saturday's results from Finley Stadium. It was Howard over Boyd Buchanan by a score of 8-0. Howard went 2-0 on Saturday night after they defeated Grace in the second game, 6-0. Chattanooga Central over Boyd Buchanan, 21-0. Central over Grace, 6-0. So Chat Central went 2-0 on the night, and Grace went 0-2. Signal Mountain blanked Soddy Daisy 7-0. East Hamilton over tying Soddy Daisy by a score of 0-0. Ottawa defeated Signal Mountain 13-0. Red Bank over East Hamilton 7-0. Brainerd over Ottawa 7-0. Baylor over Brainerd 7-0. Red Bank finished up the night defeating Baylor by a score of 6-0. So it'll be interesting to see as Red Bank getting 2 quick victories on Saturday night in their scrimmage action. And they're going to be taking on Soddy Daisy, who Soddy basically went 0-1 on the night, 0-1 because of ending up tying East Hamilton in that second game. But Baylor, Notre Dame, that could be an interesting contest to say the least, besides the Soddy Daisy and Red Bank game that's set for Friday night. So a lot of interesting action that went on. Notre Dame, I was impressed with their explosive running. And hopefully we'll see some improvements from these teams. They've still got 10 games to play, regular season games before the playoffs get around, but we're just getting started. So it was fun to be able to see. Now, Thursday, soccer got underway in a scrimmage with UTC and Belmont. Ended up being a 1-1 tie. And then yesterday, the ladies soccer team was in action against Tennessee Tech. And that there came away, I believe UTC, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have the score right in front of me, came away with the victory yesterday afternoon. Now, volleyball is also getting ready to get underway, and it will be fun to see how they perform this season. But the soccer team, their next contest will be on August 17th against Alabama A&M. So that'll get underway at 3:00. And then they won't have another contest at home until the end of August when they take on, I believe it's Mercer. So it'll be great to see the girls in action. And don't forget UTC football, August 30th. Tennessee Tech will be the first home game of the season. And then Samford, the Bulldogs, on September 22nd. So they basically have got one game in August, one game in September at home at Finley Stadium. Then they've got a pair of games in October 6th and October 27th. And then, of course, the Mercer Bears on November 10th. So it will be fun to watch those 5 home games with UTC. 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call, 423-800-8949. And you can call us up, or if you'd like, you can comment on our Facebook live page. We're also being viewed on YouTube. So hello to everybody out there, wherever you may be around the world, or right here in the Tennessee Valley. TWRA is going to be leasing fields for the 2018 Dubs season. They're seeking fields to lease for the upcoming Dubs season. First segment will get underway of Dubs season, opening at noon on Saturday, September the 1st. Morning doves are a popular game bird, one of the most widely distributed and abundant birds in North America. More morning doves are harvested than all other migratory bird species combined in 39 of the continental states. In Tennessee alone, an estimated 25,000 hunters harvested approximately 408,500 morning doves last year. Landowners can earn up to $3,600 for providing a dove field for public hunting. These fields must be available for a minimum of 3 priority hunt dates in September. TWRA began its leased dove field program in the late 1980s, and the program has been very successful in providing quality hunting opportunities for hunters. In addition to leased fields, many public dove fields are provided on wildlife management areas in each of the TWRA regions. TWRA website will have specific information about WMAs and leased dove fields in each region here by this Wednesday, August the 15th. Standard fall leased field is a harvested grain field to which TWRA leases the hunting rights for 3 prior dates. Hunting access rate paid to landowners for fall leased fields may be up to $75 per acre. For a maximum of 40 acres, fields that are top sown with wheat are eligible for an additional $15 per acre. Interested landowners must sign up their fields this month. So you've got till the end of the month to do that. Anyone interested in leasing a dove field to a TWRA should contact their regional office. The TWRA has 4 regional offices across the state. The interested landowners can contact the ones for this area, I believe, is Region 4, 423-587-7037 or 800-332-0900 is the phone number to call. And to find out more on that. All right, we've got a lot more coming your way here tonight on the Locker Room Show. Keon Rose will not be in tonight for the Clutch, and he should be back tomorrow, and we'll have more college and pro sports for him to talk about, and whatever the topic of the day may be. Interesting to see how the Atlanta Braves continue with their journey to try to make the playoffs. And they had a shellacking going on. They took care of business with the Brewers yesterday. So let's see if Atlanta can keep that up or if they're going to face any buzzsaws along the way. The Locker Room Show with Sam Jordan continues here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Back with more in just a few moments.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chatta, Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
Raymond Hill was found stabbed multiple times on People Street. Cops say they arrested suspect David Oliphant. Reports say he was holding a knife and his clothes were red stained with blood. David Oliphant charged with attempted murder and aggravated assault. TVA's Raccoon Mountain Hydro Plant is open to the public for touring. The plant ceased tours after the 9/11 attacks for security reasons. The hydro dams were built back in the 70s and produced power for much of the area. Tours are still limited as you need to make an appointment ahead of time, but that could change if all goes well at the end of the year. Cops say a man was shot down on Museum Street and left to die. 45-year-old Willie Edwards was shot in the torso. He was rushed to Erlanger for treatment. A short time later, Shenard Stewart was taken into custody. Police say Stewart confessed to them that he shot Edwards after an argument between them got heated. He is charged with attempted murder. Val St. John for Nuga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News Now.
David Toulis. I made the move 1 o'clock every weekday afternoon, 1 till 3, Nuga Radio.
92.7, Chattanooga weather.
East side mostly clear skies to continue through your nighttime lows into the upper 60s. Could see some patchy late fog. For Tuesday, another fine day. Mostly sunny, dry, hot highs near 90. Around 90 again Wednesday with scattered showers and storms more likely for the second half of the week. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's. Home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sorgene 12 Chief Meteorologist Patch Report.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
I got my business up and running and it's already expanding. I got lucky. Lucky because I found Signal Voice and Data. Signal Voice and Data can incorporate all of my business information sharing and communications seamlessly, keep my costs down, and let me work more productively with endless connectivity no matter where I might be. That's called working smart, not hard. Go to signalvoicetn.com and bring the future of communication to your business today. signalvoicetn.com.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McCarty Ford of FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with? Eric, you're our winner. Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nuga Radio.
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Do you hear that? That, my friend, is not what you're thinking. That is the new 2018 Indian Chieftain Dark Horse. Yeah, Indian. Indian motorcycle is more than a bike. It's an experience, an American icon. And Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga is the only place you'll find their new 2018 line. Are you ready to ride? Join the club. Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign, 153 and Amnicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Call 423-875-3600 if you're looking to expand your professional look of your business. Then consider the vast opportunities that are available when you locate your office with the Rains Group family. Remember, it's location, location, location. And the Rains Group has the location for your professional office. Check out the spaces for lease at Executive Business Park on the Lee Highway. Small or large, we will be able to suit your needs with the Rains Group. Call 423-875-3600 for the business professionals with the Rains Group.
Chattanooga Paint and Decorating would like to remind you it's so hot out there. And guess what? Your deck is taking a beating. It's probably starting to show wear. If you're hosting friends, get your deck entertainment ready with a fresh coat of stain and protect it from heat, sun, and rain with a quality sealant. If you want to get to work, Chattanooga Paint and Decorating want to help you. For exterior paint, stains, sealants, and supplies, stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today on Hicks and Pike across from Valvoline or online at ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Nuga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7.
Nuga Radio. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Sam Jordan's Nuga Radio 92.7 Sports now.
Good Monday night to you. It's the Locker Room Show here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, 95.3 WHD Corner. Your host, Sam Jordan. And we invite you to call in at 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949. You can also participate by notifying us on Facebook with your questions or comments at Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. We're also on Facebook Live and YouTube as well. So if you'd like to catch us on video, you can do so there. Don't forget to check in with Russ and Val every weekday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. with Chattanooga's morning news. Get your day started off right with all the latest news happenings from the overnight and from today. And then, of course, weather and traffic 12 times an hour right here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM to get you going. I mean, I hate being on 75 and or 24 there by the split. It's just one of those things. That is probably one of the worst roads that I've ever been a part of in my life. The worst. I mean, they need to take a 4 or 5 lane road into 2 lanes and then it goes into 1 before it expands back out after the split. Someone didn't plan that one too well. And now everybody else gets to pay for it. And then, of course, when you got 24 splitting off on the US 27, that is crazy as well. And especially with all the construction going on, trying to make it a better road for everybody to drive on. All right, now that rant's over with, after that, Glenn Beck from 9 to 11, and then Marie Mott. Check her out from 11 to noon. And then Russ and Val get you updated once again with all the latest with the Nuga Radio Power Hour newscast at noon till 1 o'clock. And then David Toulis, the smartest guy with a bow tie, from 1 to 3. And then Sean Hannity, America's #1 talk show host. And you can hear him right here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. From 3 to 6, and then the Power Hour newscast from 6 to 7. And then, of course, you get me from 7 to 8, and then the Clutch with Keon Rose from 8 to 9, and then Alex Jones from 9 to 10. Ground Zero over Clyde Lewis from 10 until 1. And then George Norrie with Somewhere in the Night, Coast to Coast AM. And it's all right here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. Hey, one of our great businesses that we have here on Nooga Radio is the Olive Branch Restaurant. It's a great Mediterranean deli that is on the Ringgold Road in Chattanooga. Actually, it's probably about 7 or 8 blocks right down the street from where the radio station is. And tomorrow, Pasticcio is their special with chicken caparma. Their vegan special is potatoes and Kalamata olive stew. Check it out at the Olive Branch, located on the Ringgold Road in Chattanooga, over in the East Ridge section of town. Glad to have you along wherever you may be. We once again want to invite you to call in with your questions or comments at 423-800-8949, or you can also send them in on Facebook at Nooga Radio 92.7 FM, here with the Locker Room Show with yours truly, Sam Jordan. Let's check in with Woody Kane, get you updated with the latest from NASCAR today.
Win number 7 for Harvick only makes him eager for more.
We're 3 weeks away from the playoffs, and you don't want it to shut off. You want it to keep going.
I'm Woody Kane. The story next on NASCAR Today.
Duralast batteries are proven tough to perform in temperatures of 140 degrees and 40 below zero, because when you can start in extreme conditions, you can start in everyday conditions, like running late for work, a broken alarm, creepy parking spots. Duralast, proven tough and only at AutoZone. Visit any of our 5,000 locations nationwide and let's get you what you need.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
I noticed my neighbor put a broken World's Best Dad mug in the recycling bin by his curb. So I did what anyone would do. Fixed it with some JB Weld Clear Weld epoxy, then returned the next morning to stand in his yard and drink coffee. He and his family stared out the window at me with confusion, and underneath that, fear. And underneath that, I want to say jealous anger. But underneath that, there was also appreciation for a lesson well learned. Don't toss it. JB Weld it.
After leading over half the laps at Michigan Sunday and getting his 7th win of the season, Kevin Harvick is far from satisfied. He knows with the playoffs looming, the hard part is about to begin.
The motivation is to not let things slip through the crack, and they're covering all the details, and especially my group of guys that, we're going on our 5th year together. So that experience and those attention to details of things that they do is second to none. And you see it week after week, and you look in the win column and we're capitalizing on those fast cars.
Bristol's up next Saturday night before an off weekend. As always, there's more at MRN.com. I'm Woody Kane. This is NASCAR Today on the Motor Racing Network.
As Woody said, they will be at Bristol with the Bass Pro Shops NRA night race. Saturday night special, 6:30 p.m. right here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM through the facilities of the Performance Racing Network. And as Woody said, they will then be off for a week, and they will get back in action over at Darlington, the Bojangles Southern 500 on September the 2nd, and that will be a 5 o'clock start as well. And then you get the Brickyard 400 over in Indianapolis the following week. So we're counting down here to the final races of the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series. And you can catch all that action and all the excitement right here at Nooga Radio. Tennessee football is Saturday. If you missed it, Nick LaFew with the Breakfast Blitz and myself, we talked a little bit about Tennessee football and its schedule, and they're starting it off against the 20th ranked team in the country on Saturday, September the 1st, with West Virginia at Charlotte. That's going to be held over at Bank of America Park, where the Carolina Panthers play their NFL games, and that will be a 3:30 start. So it's going to be interesting to see how well Tennessee comes out of the chute, taking on the number 20 team in the country. I think a lot of people are underestimating the Vols and what Coach Pruitt has and his coaching staff have put together to make this an interesting and probably a fun team to watch, and also a sleeper of a team that will probably make some excitement. Now, yeah, Nick and I, we went through, he's saying 8-4. I'm saying 9-3 because of the schedule. The one game that I think that we kind of disagree on is the South Carolina game, more so than any. That's being played at Columbia late in October. There's only 3 games in October for the Vols. They get the first weekend in October off after playing Georgia and before they get ready to play Auburn and then Alabama right in the middle of the schedule. But South Carolina could be that tipsy-turvy game that could make things interesting, to say the least. South Carolina can be a spoiler of a team, but they're also a very good team as well. Just depends on how good Tennessee is. Now, after that West Virginia game on September the 1st, then you got East Tennessee State, University of Texas at El Paso, and then you got Florida. 3 games back to back that are going to be played at Neyland Stadium. After that, the end of September, they're going to be on the road at Georgia down in Athens, and they will find out how good of a team that they really are. Florida could be another surprise game for the Vols if they're not careful and not looking ahead and playing Georgia. But after that, when you get into October, you got some buzzsaws with Auburn at Auburn. Then Alabama comes to Knoxville to take on the Vols. Head coach versus his former assistant coach in Jeremy Pruitt. That's the most anticipated game. That could be a huge television game for one of the networks, and more than likely CBS or ESPN because of carrying the SEC. And then that South Carolina game at Columbia could be an interesting one as well. Now, it gets a little bit easy if you want to call it easy. First game in November with Charlotte, I think, will be an easy game. After that, you've got Kentucky and Missouri that will round out the home schedule with Charlotte, Kentucky, and Missouri. And as you remember, the Kentucky game was the game that Butch Jones got canned. I mean, before he even walked off the field, he was canned. Then the Missouri game was a debacle. That was on TV, national TV, and just did not go well, to say the least. Then Tennessee got embarrassed when they had Vanderbilt at home. And Brady Hoke could not win against Missouri or Vanderbilt. He went 0-2 to finish his interim head coaching stint. He was former head coach, if you remember, up at Michigan. And if he would have won those final 2 games, I think they would have probably gave him the head coaching gig altogether. But ended up, I think they probably made a better hire with getting Pruitt on board and bringing in some really good assistants. But it could be interesting. Like I said, I'm picking them to lose to Georgia, Auburn, and Alabama right in the middle of the schedule. They'll go 4-0, and then they'll lose those 3, and then they'll pick up the victories after that. And even if they get 6 victories on the season, they're pretty much assured a spot in a bowl game somewhere. But we got to play the games to find out who's going to do what, who's going to do where. I'm still puzzled with the rankings a little bit. Alabama, yes. I think Georgia should have been a number 2 instead of Clemson, but Georgia's at 4. Ohio State's at 3, but I think after the poll came out a couple days afterwards with the Urban Meyer scandal, that wasn't even really his scandal. It was one of his assistants that made the mistake with the alleged domestic abuse situation with his ex-wife. And supposedly Meyer kind of covered it up, which you would think that coaches would learn to have not done that, especially after what happened at Penn State and the cover-up that went on there with Jerry Sandusky and Joe Paterno and others that were involved, including president and vice president of the school. Yeah, I mean, they're still talking about figuring out how much jail time former President Spanier is going to get. And then the vice president is waiting to find out what kind of jail time he's going to get. So they're kind of just sitting back and kind of waiting to find out what their fates are going to be. But Sandusky serving 60 years in jail, more than likely he'll die in jail. And but you would have thought coaches would have gotten their heads out of their rear ends and seen that the open windows policy really needs to go across the board, whether it be with your players, your coaches, or whatever. Just cannot let that happen whatsoever. All right. Once again, 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call if you'd like to participate, talk about various issues going on in sports. And then, of course, if you'd like to chime in on Facebook, you can do so at Nuga Radio 92.7 FM and check in and let us know how things are going with you. NASCAR was kind of getting back to that. I mean, Kevin Harvick, it was good seeing him win that 7th time. He's assured of being in the playoffs. All of our winners that we've had here this year will be able to be a part of the race for the chase that will get underway here, well, not too far away, here in September. Final 10 races of the year will be known as the race for the chase. So, Harvick, 7 wins, kind of reminds you a little bit of Jimmy Johnson years ago, because Jimmy hasn't done a whole lot lately. And happy Harvick, since he switched and went over to Stewart-Haas Racing in the number 4 car when he took the place of Tony Stewart in that number 4 ride. Actually, no, Harvick was in the number 4 ride and Stewart was in the 14 car. And, Harvick was, let's see, who was he with? I'm thinking he was with Hendrick, I believe, and made that switch when his contract came up. And him and Tony, I guess, had been friends for a number of years and thought it would be great to team up together on a good ride. And when Tony finally hung it up here several years ago, Harvick became the star of the show. Now, Kurt Busch was just reported here late last week. He's in his final year at Stewart-Haas Racing and evidently will be leaving the team. But I don't think he's totally done with racing. I think he will end up becoming a part of another team. And speculation is saying that Penske could be that team that Kurt Busch could go to and maybe finish out his career in fine style. But Joe Gibbs Racing, has been one of those top teams over the last several years. And with Penske, with Logano and others really doing a good job there for their teams. But Kyle Busch, the younger brother of Kurt Busch, is on that JGR team. And has been the bad boy of sorts, but he's also doing good things out on the track. And then you got Martin Truex Jr. with Furniture Row Racing and Clint Boyer, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon, who won the Daytona 500 in that number 3 car, doing well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this NASCAR season winds down as we get ready for that race for the chase, and the teams are jockeying and starting to work a little bit more together in races because of trying to position themselves for that race for the chase. Taylor Hasty has been named the Silverdale Baptist Academy's high school athletic director. According to a press release from the school, Hasty brings with him success as both a high school and collegiate athlete and experience of running a collegiate athletics department. CR Bubba Simmons, Silverdale's previous high school athletic director, has taken another position within the academy in the admissions department as continued growth has provided more opportunities both for him and Silverdale. Hasty is a native of Charlotte, North Carolina, and graduated from Charlotte Latin School, where he helped win a state title in baseball in 2000. Hasty attended Bryan College up in Dayton beginning in the fall of 2002, where he helped restart the baseball program as a freshman after a 16-year hiatus by the college. He served as a team captain for 3 years, and as his senior season earned the Bryan College Athletic Department's highest honor, the Lion of Valor Award, given annually to the outstanding Christian athlete who excelled both on and off the field. As the director of athletics at Bryan College for the past 6 years, Hasty oversaw a department that grew by over 100 student athletes, saw improvement in its overall GPA average. In addition to the off-field success under Hasty's leadership, the department won conference titles in women's volleyball, softball twice, and a women's basketball tournament title. Lions saw at-large bids to the NAIA National Tournament in men's soccer and baseball, as well as an AAC Tournament Championship final berth for women's soccer, their first opportunity at winning the AAC Tournament since 2010. So Taylor Hasty is the new AD at Silverdale Baptist Academy. So we wish him the best of luck, and I'm sure he's probably already in the job since school has already gotten underway. So Taylor Hasty, new AD for Silverdale. Been wanting to talk about that here over the last several weeks, and finally getting an opportunity here. All right, as we mentioned to you earlier in the show, clutch with Keon Rose off tonight. Keon is out of the country, well, at least the state for right now. And he should be back with us tomorrow night, and he'll bring you some exciting sports news and conversation as well. And can't wait to have him back, because Thursday night we'll get underway with high school football here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. And, of course, you can always find us at NugaRadio.com. Chattanooga Morning News beginning at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning with Rustin Val. Make sure you tune in, get all the latest 411, what's going on, weather, traffic, news, sports, you name it. You can find it right here on Chattanooga's News Talk Sports Station. Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Have a great evening.